Felt Ian, very similar to the last game you had with them. You went 8-0 up early on and didn't quite kick on. Were you at any stage worried?
First half, we came in at half time. Half time kind of came at a good time for us. Obviously, we got a penalty just before it, but we wasn't doing the right things. We'd fell away from a few things. We started chasing the edge, like I just spoke about before, and we started making errors. And we'd spoken about not doing that or not trying to go there too early. And we probably put ourselves under more pressure, and then we conceded points on the back end of that. And obviously, in the end, started come from behind to get the result. It
was really stop-start, wasn't it, in the last quarter? Did that went against you a little bit?
Yeah, awful. I didn't like that because last time that happened to us here, we kind of lost concentration. So that was the messages that were going out at that time there. We kind of wanted to make sure we retained our focus. But to be fair, I don't know. I don't know how many head injuries there was there. But O'Brien came off, and he didn't seem to be injured as he came off, and then he's gone back on after the head test as well. But there's a few things that were just a little bit kind of slowing the game down today. I think just a little bit of tactics potentially for some of them. But one of the things that is annoying me is Chris Wellham's competing for the ball in the air on kick chases all the time, but he keeps getting penalties against him when he's competing for the ball. It's really becoming a real bugbear at the moment because we're competing hard and going for the ball. Yet as soon as you kind of touch the guy in the air, they're just saying it's a penalty straight away. They've got to start they're taking the contest out of the game with that.
Is that something you'd like to obviously see changed?
Yeah, I think we're going to send a message about it after the game because it's happened in our last 3 games. We're kick chasing really well and competing for the ball, but they keep giving penalties against us all the time, the officials, so we need it clearing up.
Yeah, you've had some great wins this year with some great attacking rugby, but this just feels an even bigger win, the manner of it really.
Yeah, I thought the way Huddersfield came, they came with a real good mentality. They definitely weren't like they were last week anyway, put it that way, in which they don't seem to be against us. They came with a mentality to kind of get in the arm wrestle and play with some energy. I thought Holmes and Russell did a real good job for them and caused us a couple of problems, especially Holmes on the left edge as well. So they came with a purpose to play, and it kind of probably gave us a taste of what's going to come really in the next few games really, because that arm wrestle mentality is a semi-final football kind of way to play. And you've got to make sure you outlast the other team in that arm wrestle, and I thought today we generally did that.
Given how tight it is in Super League, does it make your achievement of being 5th at this point even more pleasing?
I think it's been massive for us as a club. If you look at the numbers, just kind of on the finances and the resources of what the boys do every single week, they're outstanding. The group of players we've got are first class. They don't complain about what we don't have. We worry about what we do have. And then we go forward with that and we try and put our best foot forward every single time we take the field. And the boys have been a credit to the club throughout the full year in the way that they've done that. We just need to make sure for our own ambition now, what we want to do is make sure that we nail the playoff spot and then push in the playoffs and see what we can do.
And everyone's talking obviously about how tight it is at the bottom, but the race for the 5 is tight and it's yours now, isn't it? So someone's got to take it off you.
Yeah, well there's obviously Catalan, Castleford. Cass got a win, obviously the week Leeds did us a favour the other day by pulling Catalan back. So it's kind of in our own hands, all 3 of us really, so it's probably who wants it most at this moment in time.
Any injury worries after that?
Oh, there's a couple of knocks in there. Jacko got hurt underneath the post as well, but kind of pushed on through. Gil Dudson, Lee Mossop, but he's just a bang, I think, Moose. And then I think there was a hamstring, I can't think who was with at the moment, but there was another one, but hopefully not too many. The good thing with us at the moment is our medical team's been brilliant throughout this year, and we've got George Griffin, who will be close to coming back in the next couple of weeks, Ben Knack, Josh Wood's available now as well. So we're starting to get players back. Greg Johnson's back and available. So we're starting to get players at the right end of the season back available and fit to play.